أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Friday sermon by Hazrat Khalifatullah Munir Azim Ayadullah Ta'ala bin Azil Aziz of Mauritius, 24th February 2023, 3rd Shaban 1444 Hijrah. After greeting all Muslims and all his disciples around the world with the salam, the salutation of peace in Islam, the Khalifatullah Ayadullah Ta'ala bin Azil Aziz read the Tashahhud, Ta'uz and the Surah Al-Fatiha, and he focused his sermon on humanity in danger, showing mercy. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. Meaning, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, when the earth is shaken to her utmost convulsion, and the earth throws up her burdens, when man says, "What is the matter with her?" on that day she will relate her news, for your Lord will have commanded her. That day mankind will issue forth in scattered groups to be shown their deeds. Then whoso does an atom's weight of good will see it, and whoso does an atom's weight of evil will also see it. This chapter refers to the tremendous convulsion and uprooting which will take place when the present order of the world is dissolved and the new spiritual world of justice and truth takes its place. The symbol used is that of an earthquake which will shake our present material and phenomenal world to its very foundations, like we are witnessing in this era. And also when all human institutions will be shaken to their foundations, and new discoveries and inventions in the domain of science and knowledge will change the entire shape of things, and the ideals and ideas of men will acquire a new orientation. To the ordinary human observer, a violent earthquake is a terrifying phenomenon in its suddenness, in its mysterious origin, and in its power to destroy and uproot the strongest buildings and to bring up strange materials from the bowels of the earth. The overwhelming event which ushers in the judgment will be a bigger and more far-reaching conversion than any earthquake may give us. An earthquake, if accompanied by a volcanic eruption, throws up enormous boulders and lava from beneath the crust of the earth. They are thrown up as if they were a burden to the earth personified. They may be all kinds of minerals or treasures buried for secrecy. The puzzled agony suffered by the victims of a violent earthquake is as nothing compared to the experience of the new and wonderful world which will then open out to the gaze of man. The earthquake in Turkey and Syria. The situation of the city of Antakya in Turkey is very critical. Thousands of buildings and homes collapsed with thousands of bodies buried in the rubble. There was the smell of decomposing bodies in various places. Rescue operations have been complicated, however, with aftershocks, that is, earthquakes of magnitude varying between 3.8 and 4.5 on the Richter scale, which are felt between 4 and 6 times on a daily basis. Another tremor was felt on the evening of Wednesday, 15th February 2023. It is also because of the insecurity that still reigns in some cities that they have simply been abandoned by residents for fear of experiencing another devastating earthquake. Antakya has become a dead city. Only stadiums remained open, the government having installed shelters there for the victims. But for the majority of survivors who do not have this possibility are forced to stay on site, temporarily housed in tents. Many people have lost everything. In addition to losing their homes and belongings, many families were also completely decimated. There are many who have lost their family members, tears in the eyes. There are scenes that do not leave one indifferent. 3 people have been found alive in the rubble of a collapsed building in Hatay, south in Turkey, more than 12 days after the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. This had been announced in the local media. One of these 3 survivors, however, died within minutes of being rescued. The other 2 people, including a child, were taken to hospital. They were pulled from the rubble 296 hours after the earthquake that killed more than 40,000 people. Another survivor, a 25-year-old man, was found on Friday, 17th February 2023 evening, 278 hours after the earthquake in the province of Hatay, near the Syrian border, which notably houses the city of Antakya completely devastated. The latest official death toll from the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that hit Turkey has exceeded 41,000. The chances of survival are considered low around the epicenter of the earthquake further north in mountainous regions such as Kahramanmaras and even snowy regions of Elbistan and Adiyaman, where the thermometer went down to minus 15 degrees Celsius at night. Syria, also impacted by the double earthquake, also needs humanitarian aid. The concern is that the media are not as numerous as in Turkey to relay information about humanitarian aid in Syria. I would like to congratulate and express my appreciation to our brothers from the organization Al-Ihsan Islamic Funeral Center, with whom we have a very good relationship, and these brothers are in Turkey to help the victims of the earthquakes which struck Turkey and Syria on February 6th. MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar. Our brother Shakil Anarat did a remarkable job when the first earthquake was announced on February 5th. He indicated that requests have been initiated to raise funds. So I implore all our members of the Jamaatul Sahih Islam to show generosity by contributing through the NGO Al Ihsan, whose headquarters are at Aru Megan in Port Louis, and whose number of bank account MCB is 004462444767, and whose mobile telephone number is 54211761. Let us also pray for the victims. May Allah have mercy on them, on all of us, and save His believers and all mankind from all kinds of calamities. Ameen. Cyclone Freddy in the vicinity of Mauritius. Regarding Cyclone Freddy in Mauritius, members of Jamaatul Sahih Islam here in Mauritius testified that on Friday 17th February 2023 during my Friday sermon, all of a sudden my eyes went out to look at the sky from the window, and immediately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made me understand that a violent cyclone will hit the neighboring islands and also Mauritius. And throughout my sermon, I said what Allah made me understand and which was recorded throughout the sermon. On Saturday, 18th February 2023, while I was working in my office and doing dhikr, the divine message came down once again. In 48 hours, this cyclone would be a potential danger for Mauritius and for the other islands too. This message was quickly passed on to the authorities. I think that the Mauritian authority will take stock of the damage. This intense tropical cyclone with gusts of 230 km per hour in the center caused a lot of damage here in Mauritius. Never has the passage of a cyclone in the Indian Ocean captured the attention of the world, as was the case for the intense tropical cyclone Freddy, bordering on a superstorm category. The cyclone had been on the side of Indonesia since 6th of February. This was a compact and dangerous cyclone with gusts of around 230 km per hour in the center and a barometric pressure of 940 hectopascals. An unfortunate Mahashivaratri festival in Mauritius. The Mahashivaratri festival of this year 2023 was a tragic day for Hindus and all of Mauritius. On this holiday, Saturday 18th February 2023, the Mahashivaratri pilgrims started the final stage of their 10-day pilgrimage and fast by participating in the country's temples and also holding convoys converging on the holy lake Ganga Talau Grand Basin, and the convoys are year after year shaped in a more impressive way but also increasingly voluminous in width and height. These convoys are so high that they touch the electric wires that cross the roads, which compelled one of the pilgrims to carry a pole to lift the electric wires to allow the convoy to pass. These large convoys unfortunately caused deaths. Rohan Durjan, 22 years, and Parameshwar Dukiai, 37 years, two residents of Albion as well as another pilgrim died following high voltage electrocution. The people traumatized by this episode are not only the bereaved families or the survivors, nor those who had been spectators of the disaster, themselves caught in the panic and the impossibility of understanding. This drama is a black episode for the whole country, regardless of the people's faith or religion. In addition to the 2 residents of Albion who were electrocuted, 22 other pilgrims were injured, admitted to the intensive care unit, and one more succumbed to his injuries and died. If measures had been taken to regulate the dimensions of the convoys so that they did not interfere with road traffic, so that they did not hit the electrical wires, the accident would not have occurred. Had the police enforced the brand new noise pollution law, hundreds of local Mauritians on the pilgrimage route would not have jumped up and down night and day to endure concerts. It was not until after the accident that officials began to say that some convoys are too bulky and their sound systems too loud. Let us hope that the tragic accident that killed those people and injured people in Mary Long will have served as a lesson and will put an end to this competition between convoys and give back to all the celebrations their spiritual dimension and not show-offs. On my own behalf as the Khalifatullah and on behalf of the Jamaat Islam, I offer my deepest condolences to the close families and friends of the victims and to all the pilgrims and our brothers and sisters of the Hindu faith. May Allah have mercy on the citizens of this country and the whole world. May God cause His creatures to turn to Him ultimately as their creator, and may God cause the Jamaatul Sahih al-Islam to be an example of tolerance, peace and wisdom for the creation of a new world in the pleasure of Allah, inshallah. Ameen.